very disheartening.
I'm not surprised.
That is a great example of how inequality across many types of people is sort of slipped in a sneaky way.
If I were to define the pink tax and tell you what I know about it, what I know is that the pink tax is a way to think about the costs associated with being a woman, whether that be the cost of feminine care products or just the difference between your blue razor, which is meant for a man potentially, and your pink razor, which is designed for a woman, and the pink razor might cost more, or the items targeted or marketed towards women cost more than a man targeted or marketed item.
Society is set up to be unfair to women.
My theory on why the pink tax exists is twofold. One, misogyny. So typically the folks who are put in positions of power are men. So I think that there's kind of a compounding effect there. And then second, I would say that women have historically been told that they're the ones making the purchases in a household. So there is something, I think there's a more long-term honing of marketing towards women. There's a marketing for women that's different than I would say for men.
For women, for example, who have been sexually assaulted, and if they're in an emergency room and they need post-exposure prophylaxis to prevent them from possibly contracting HIV, they may be have to pay $600 to $1,000 to receive that one pill. And for men having sex with men, for example, they have a pre-exposure prophylaxis, the same or very similar pill, but often if the men have health insurance, they get that covered. So there's a difference in equity for the same medication and for the same purpose. The Depends products, and that's a product where people with incontinence can just kind of pull on a pair of underwear that has some padding already in it to protect from incontinence. For men, one of these underwear units costs 71 cents, and for women it costs $1.11. So that's a difference of 40 cents. So for older women, for example, versus older men who need the same product, they'll be paying 40 cents extra per underwear item, that can add up pretty quickly.
There has never been a woman sent to Congress in Vermont, so we're the last state in the entire country to do that. We've never sent a woman to Washington. I don't think that's just by accident. I think it's because we have a lot of negativity towards the idea of women being in leadership roles.
My only other thought about the pink tax is that it's connected to everything else. There's no one probably who just worries about that one issue and then never has anything else in their life that is challenging.
Topics that specifically respond to situations that women deal with uniquely can be hard to move in the legislative process, because for the history of politics in our country, women have not had a seat at the table. Now that I know $82,000 more could be in my pocket at 60, yeah, that is a big impact. That could be I could pay off my student loan debt. I mean, that's like an education. I also think it has an impact, something that took me a while to learn. I'm 26, so I'm not that far out from my teenage or college age years. And there's definitely a sense of hyper-focused marketing and sales on young women.
So if young women, for example, are trying to attend college, for example, or are starting out on their own after high school to work at a job, try and pay for their car and for their apartment, and all the other living expenses, to have items such as feminine hygiene products and other products that are unnecessarily expensive, that's quite burdensome to young women.
We're told as women that we are expected to purchase more things to exist as women. So I have to buy makeup to be a certain type of woman, or I have to purchase a certain amount of clothes to be considered a type of woman. And that just gets added on over time.
Adds up to a lot. And the idea that one type of taxation or one little fee here, or one little extra, 10 cents there doesn't have an impact, I think, is probably an easy thing to think if you're not trying to think too hard about it.
Well, I think there's a lot of misrepresentation when it comes to the idea that women are asking for some kind of special treatment, or that when women advocate for an exemption or even things like affirmative action, there's always this belief that that it's not a problem or it's not real, and that women or minorities are whining about it. Like, it's not a real issue. Why are we talking about it? We have more serious other business to talk about. And I would say that would be the stereotype or misrepresentation I hear when it comes to anything around improving the quality of life for women. And my response would be that it does matter, and that economic freedom, ability to feel comfortable and experience the benefits that we all do, that does have an impact. And I think the pink tax is a piece of that.
So more women know about this, and the more women that know about this, then the better chance there is that this could be, there could either be legislation to try and remedy this, or, like I say, to work directly with businesses, because women spend a lot of money. And so, if women decided, for example, to boycott a product because it was exceptionally expensive, that business would sit up and take notice.
If you don't want to pay a lot of money for a razor, you don't have to. You can use the men's razor. If I don't want to pay $30 for a fancy mascara, I don't have to. I can go buy the $10 mascara from CoverGirl.